Greetings, brave adventurers! There's something you haven't heard in a while. My name is FoxyBard, and I have returned to bring more stories of RPG. Terrible. It's bad, y'all. We're in 2025, and people still be fooling in the RPG games. I think I've deprived y'all long enough, so we're just gonna jump right into the first story. Thank you, River. Our first story today is by the user Red Hot Owl and is entitled Player Goes on a Wild Rant 'Cause We Wouldn't Use AI in Our Game. Yeah, it's 2025. People are now upset that you're not using AI. This is gonna be sad. Let's just get going. Tales start. Okay. Before I start, I just want to preface that if you use or support AI art generation, I don't care. Pause. This is Foxy? I care. Don't do it. It's bad. For a lot of reasons. Anyway, you do you. I'm not here to give you a lecture about the ethics of it or anything like that. Pause. Nah, it's not time. Resume. We, as in myself and my friend, who is the DM of the campaign we are running, personally don't. Well, you should. But, this isn't the place. Right, so, for the past month or so, we've been running a Witcher-themed campaign. It's been a pretty fun time. The races that are already part of the setting fit surprisingly well with the standard D&D rules. The whole idea is a sort of low-stakes side plot that is happening in a parallel with the events of The Witcher 3, although featuring more mundane characters. To give you an idea, we've got an alcoholic dwarf farmer who fights alongside his pet goat. Yeah, sounds fun. Anyway, one player, who I guess I'll call AI Bro, has been with us for a while. Until recently, he seemed pretty laid back and just an overall average dude. Our time zones rarely matched up, so he mostly only hopped on for the game itself, and was usually the first to log off, which meant we didn't really get to know him all that well. No big deal, of course, everyone's got their own lives, and we're all adults. But that did mean that what happened next, it completely caught us off guard. When it comes to the visuals, like locations, creature references, and so on, my friend, the DM, mostly uses screenshots from the game itself he takes and edits together. That's the right way to do it when you're doing a setting based on a game. AI Bro didn't seem to have a problem with this, but during yesterday's session, he suggested that it be cooler if we just use AI art, and he can make some for us. Yeah. My friend said that there was no need, but the gesture was appreciated. Then AI Bro asked why, and my friend explained that he wasn't really into AI-generated stuff. Good call, but you should have been like, fuck no! Sorry, I can't say that. Yes, I can, it's YouTube. When I say AI Bro completely lost it over that, I mean it. Dude went off on the most random insecure rant you've ever heard, talking over everyone who, like us, just wanted to go back to playing the game that was going fine until then. He was saying things like his art is just as valid, and it's time people start acknowledging that, or whatever, even though no one was saying otherwise. I could almost see him frothing at the mouth as he went on and on, pretty much arguing with himself for a solid 20 minutes. These guys have the ultimate victim complex. If you even remotely hint that maybe you don't like their stuff, oh, you're in for it. Sorry. He probably would have kept going if the DM hadn't kicked him off the call. We let AI Bro join back a few minutes later after he had supposedly calmed down, but even though he was less mad, he still kept bitching and throwing in snide comments. Oh my god, sorry. Another player, who is an actual physical artist... Oh god. Foolishly tried to explain why some people have issues with AI art. This kicked off another rant from AI Bro about how being an artist isn't a real job anyway, and that she shouldn't be mad at tech since it can do what she does better. Which, I mean, she wasn't. Again, we were all cool with agreeing to disagree, but at the end of the day, It's our game, and we decide what goes in it. Eventually, the DM did end up booting him due to him refusing to drop it. Yeah, I don't know. Probably one of the most random blowouts over nothing I've ever witnessed. Tale end. Now, if you've never actually had an experience with one of these particular AI bros, this might seem like a one-off silly weird guy, but no. No, they're all conditioned to be like this by the culture surrounding generative AI. And now's the time for my little rant. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this to 30 seconds. It's going to be hard. Zero AI models have the rights to almost any of the training data that they were provided, which makes them plagiarism. They output things that look bad and sound bad and read bad. In addition, their power usage and water usage is off the charts, just ridiculous. There is a future for large machine learning in our society, but it is not ever going to be in creating art. This is a dead end. Stop. Okay, there's the rant. That's the full rant. Now, if you've ever encountered any of these AI bros, they don't care about any of that. They think it looks the best that anything has ever looked, and they can do it with the click of a button, which makes it more valuable than real, genuine, actual human creativity. But if you point out to them that it sucks and it's a bubble that's definitely going to burst, they get mad because they've put their entire personality, probably a lot of their own personal savings, into these things, and being wrong feels bad, so they get extremely defensive. And that's what happened here. Even though nobody was attacking this guy, he felt like they were because they weren't all in. They're conditioned to do this, again, by the culture, by the stuff around it, so I don't blame this guy individually, though, yeah, he's kind of an asshole. That's not the point. He's not the problem. It's a whole overarching culture to do with generative AI, and we should just, as a whole, as a community, reject it. As a fun experiment, ask ChatGPT, actually don't do this, but look up what other people have generated from ChatGPT to be like an RPG campaign. It's so bad. It's terrible. Anyway, next story. Hopefully a lighter one. Ugh, who am I kidding? I know what I'm getting into. In our next story, the author is using a throwaway account for anonymity, so I have censored their username so it doesn't trace back to them in any way, and is titled Creepy DM Sends My Character to Prison. Alright, so, do we have any fans of Orange is the New Black here? No reason. Tale start. To preface, this story does come with a warning for some mild elements of SA. Sorry. This is from several months ago when I joined a D&D group that a friend recommended to me. We had a 4-person party with a cleric, a ranger, a sorcerer, and a fighter. My sorcerer was named Pearl, and was the only female PC in the group. Oh no. She also had the noble background. On session 1, the DM mentioned that Pearl was 48 years old, which was strange since I hadn't specified her age. No, bad GM, stop it. Don't do that. But other than that, everything went pretty normally for the first few sessions, and I must admit I was enjoying it. Not that my enjoyment lasted. Foreshadowing is a literary device, so basically what happened is that the GM railroaded the whole party into doing something that's apparently illegal in the in-game city we were in, but none of us, the players, knew that it was illegal. For some reason, Pearl was the only member of the party to be caught and arrested by the city police. Yes, police, not guards. This will matter. An NPC who was helping the party suggested to the ranger that if Pearl goes to prison, he could get a job as a prison guard to keep in contact with her and potentially get her out. Sure enough, Pearl ended up sent to prison and the ranger got a job as a guard there. This is where I started to see things going downhill, though I didn't yet realize it was a sex thing at the time. It just seemed like a way to remove player agency. It's going exactly where you think it's going, and I'm sorry. For starters, the prison was a modern prison rather than a medieval one, despite the game being supposedly set in the Forgotten Realms. Okay, to be fair, in the Forgotten Realms, the lore's not consistent, and maybe they're pulling from an old one that Gygax wrote back during the racism days. Immediately, Pearl got strip searched, and to make matters worse, the DM had the Ranger PC conduct the search. The person playing the Ranger was clearly uncomfortable throughout the whole experience, as you might expect. The DM went into a lot of detail in his descriptions of the search, with a fetishy emphasis on Pearl's age. Remember, she's 48. That he decided she was... Oh. The DM made me roll a saving through to determine whether or not Pearl would maintain her composure during the search. And basically the rest of the whole section was just DM's sexual fantasies. Every single one of the other prisoners was a middle-aged human woman. And Pearl ended up sharing a cell with Jennifer Beals. Oh hey, what up, Jen? No joke, the DM just inserted Jennifer Beals herself into the campaign. Hi, Jen. What? And since Pearl had a noble background and was used to a life of luxury, the DM fetishized the whole fall from grace aspect, talking about how difficult it was for her to adjust to being a prisoner given the life she was used to. At the end of the session, Pearl was visited by her husband. I didn't write him into Pearl's backstory. The DM abruptly added him. Surprise husband. Yay? And the DM made me roll another saving throw to determine whether or not Pearl would maintain her composure, or whether she'd cry from the embarrassment of her husband seeing her in an orange prison jumpsuit. Aren't we in the forgotten? Right. Needless to say, that was my last session with this DM. Tail end. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's funny. I'll give it that. Like, it's unique in the kind of things that they're doing here. It's terrible. Don't do this, ever, even as a joke. I mean, okay, unless you, like, arrange with everybody beforehand. Hey, by the way, I'm going to include just a real person in the prison cell here, and you're just going to roll with it, okay? Okay, cool. And what's Jennifer Beals even in that's relevant to this? Or is it just that she's an attractive woman over the age of 30? Oh, hey, that describes me. Oh, no, that describes me. Please don't put me in your prisons in your next story before I end up... Yeah. Our third and final story of the day comes to us from the user Mad Academic, and it's titled, Why Is It Always Transphobia? Man, it's not always transphobia, but so often it's just transphobia. Anyway, this includes a warning for transphobia, obviously. I will say that it's fairly mild compared to what it could be, but still, it's out there. Tale start. So, for some context, a few years ago, I began identifying as non-binary they/them. Congrats! I thought my egg days were behind me and that I would soon blossom into the eldritch entity that I was destined to be, as one does. Listen, I know a lot of non-binary people, and that describes 3/4? 2/3. We'll go 2/3 of them. It was around this time I was invited into a campaign for Dragon of Icespire Peak on Roll20 by a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend, respectively, from here on out. Disrespectively, let's be honest. No, I'm kidding. It was girlfriend's first time DMing, and as someone who is often the one sitting behind the DM screen, I was just excited to play. She assured me that the game was LGBTQ+ friendly, and that everyone was welcome at a table. Spoilers, it was not. Prior to the game, the group had started chatting, and I soon learned that boyfriend and girlfriend lived relatively close to me. I genuinely was excited because it opened a potential door into friendship outside of the game, and they both seemed really chill. Girlfriend and I particularly got along. I was more than happy to talk D&D with her, as well as just other things. I was kinda at a stage where I thought I was gender fluid, having been deprived of a lot of girly things in my life. I was eager to learn about fashion and makeup. All that aside, I rolled up a fairly straightforward paladin lady. I swear, no signs at all I wasn't envy. Who was there to kick ass and take names. Cool, great start, and great group. Mostly. What could possibly go wrong? The first real signs that all was not well was the fact that boyfriend, who touted himself as an actor and a long-term DM, often was very controlling of how girlfriend ran the game. Where have we seen this before? Everywhere. he would often make remarks about what she should do or how she should go about rulings. At one point, he just started arguing with me and another player when we pointed out that Girlfriend was running the game, and he should chill out. Fun fact, he did not! That was concerning. But it also wasn't really something that I wanted to touch. They were dating and living together, so yeah, I let it be. I mostly just tried to give Girlfriend some DM tips out of game and remark on things that I liked. You know, communication! So, a couple sessions go by, and we end up kicking a player for making some just weird remarks to another player. Well, I say we, but I mean Boyfriend removed the player. From here on out, Boyfriend will be known as Boy Enemy. Boy Enemy removed the player. Girlfriend clearly didn't like confrontation, so she got him to do the removal for him. For her? Whatever. I thought it was a tad odd, but I was definitely sympathetic to her given the fact she was new to DMing. This is a device called foreshadowing. But we kept on keeping on and having fun. I chatted with Boy Enemy and Girlfriend out of game. I even got invited to a game that Boy Enemy was going to start running. For all intents and purposes, I was under the impression we were growing closer and becoming friends. This was especially aided by the fact that at a time where I was still figuring out who this gender thing is, they never misgendered me, not even once. And then I got the message. No, let me try that again with some reverb and some bass. Hang on.
The message.
Ooh, much better. Now, I don't have the whole thing, only the relevant part, through sheer luck. But I woke up one day to
The message.
and to find myself unceremoniously removed from Girlfriend's game and Boy Enemy's game that was being planned to start soon.
The message
Was written by Boy Enemy, see, foreshadowing, and, well, I'll let you read part of it. Most of it was longer than necessary with a lot of self-justification.
We think that we're both decent people as well, but unfortunately there came about too many moments that we felt we slipped up or had to walk on eggshells around you, so to speak, all while speaking normally and being the adults we are. We don't wish to have this feeling plague us any longer, and feel it's better for both of us, our groups, and also yourself, if we part ways.
So what Boy Enemy is talking about in this message is respecting how I identified at the time and using they, them as my pronouns. The whole walking on eggshells and all while speaking normally means just respecting me? Again, like this never came up. They never discussed it. So, yeah, they kicked me. And ended up sending Girlfriend a message on Roll20 expressing my anger and how upset I was. This was stupid in hindsight. I'm glad you recognize it. And that was it. Not once did they discuss anything with me, not once did I even feel like they had messed up. Maybe there was one or two gentle corrections, but yeah, poof. That's the story. The end. It's honestly wild looking back on this compared to where I am today. I don't even really think about this game, but it crossed my mind while writing up my story I posted recently, and I was like, oh yeah, there was my other story. I'm not even baffled at it anymore. Some people really just suck. As always, thanks for reading Less Than 3. The user added an addendum, just for a clarification since it has come up in some of the comments. I was with this group for months. They treated me with kindness and respect before out of the blue kicking me. Tail end. Alright, so here's the part where I talk about my experience as a trans person and all the people who cut me out of their lives for similar reasons. It's actually not that many. It's some. It is some. Every trans person has had this exact experience with people who are like, I feel like I'm crawling on eggshells uphill both ways in the snow trying not to misgender you. It's so hard for me. I can't do it. It's so difficult. But if you correct them on the gender of your pet, they'll get it right forever from then on for the rest of the time. And It's just a fact of life for a lot of us. It sucks. Do better. But this is a not at all uncommon experience, and we all hate it. Just, if you mess up, it's okay. That's the thing. It's okay. Apologize and move on. Don't dwell on it. Don't make a huge deal out of it. Simple, oh, oops, sorry. And we move on. That's it. That's all we need from you. It's very simple. Definitely don't cut them out of your life. That is the wrong choice, because we're already losing people for bigotry reasons. We don't need to lose people for... It's just so hard. It's disguised bigotry sometimes, but I understand it's not always, and you feel, but don't. It's okay. We get it. Okay? Okay. That will do it for today. If you want more details on where the hell I've been, join my Discord server. I'm not going to talk about it here. Don't forget to like the video if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and ring the bell notification. You know how all the YouTube stuff works. Do the YouTube stuff. It does help, genuinely. It really. I know everybody says this because it's true, though. The YouTube algorithm really does reward videos with engagement. So actually, if you hate me for a lot of the stuff I've said, go down in the comments and let me know. Really lay into me. Multiple comments all over the place. That'd be so awesome of you. I would hate that. As always, massive thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who are scrolling by on the screen as as I speak. You're not, I mean, you could be speaking. You could imagine that we're having like a little back and forth conversation. Like here, I'll start. Hi friend, how are you doing? Oh, that's so cool. I've been... Huh? Oh, right. I told you to go to the Discord for this. Well, you better join the Discord, huh? Link for that in the video description. But that will do it. It's over. There's nothing more. You can go now. Bye.